Four. All right, we're rolling. This is Freedom Phil live from the wasteland out here outside of the survival pod. And what's the topic today? When traveling, it's just my outlook on van life. When traveling in van life, what is a good time to know when it's a time to move? You know, season-wise, temperature-wise, and it really depends on your equipment and what you're willing to deal with. But I'm going to go over kind of my thoughts on it. Freedom Phil, like to subscribe, and always turn up the video speed. And why do I always say that? Because you can be watching videos faster. You know, it's like the channel describes what you're supposed to be doing. Turn up the video speed. And also, when I upload this, watch it at 1.75. Why? Videos faster. Like and subscribe. Let's get into it. So it's like this. Some people will sit there and tell you, oh, well, certain month, certain this. That works. But I got a way I do it. It's just what I've kind of come up with in the last couple of years. I should say year. Because I'm more and more doing my laundry as I'll go down to a creek, I'll go down to a river. And what I've generally found is when the weather stops producing as a kind of a semi-normal thing, laundry that temperature that I can do laundry to. That's about when it's just like, it's not worth it. And a lot of drying laundry isn't just the heat. It's the wind. Like if you could build a laundry line where you've got two lines and you open up your shirts like a giant windsock. Oh yeah. Even in like 40 degrees, a sunny day, upper 40s, you'll still be drying your laundry. Socks can be kind of problematic, but still you'll get it done. And, I've often thought, just as kind of side note, if a guy had one of those old metal, metal tool sheds and painted it straight black, you could make a fucking solar dryer out of that. Just like if you had like one of those old vans that's got no windows or anything on it. Yeah, you can make a dryer out of that. Yeah, I kind of have junkyard thought, where it's like, oh, wait a minute, what can we do with the stuff we got? But, when it comes to traveling, for instance, right now it's about 65 degrees. If I go up on those hills up on yonder, way the hell over there, there's a reservoir up there, and it's about 55 degrees there right now. At night, it'll be a little freezier than it will be here, which I don't actually mind. I have cold gear. I mean, buried in there, I still have my power armor. So, and for like, what do you mean power armor? Back when I was a trucker, they gave me this coat, and it's 2 layers. Actually, I've got 2 of them. I've got one from one company and one from when the other company took over. There's the reflective version, and there's the classic version. And that thing will keep you all sorts of warm. And you could take out the liner if you want to wear it on a normal time. I mean, it's over the top. It kind of reminds you of what you would wear if you were motorcycling. It doesn't have all the super padding, but it feels that thick. And then as far as, walking around in a cold situation, yeah, I've got boots, and then I've got snow boots. Yeah, I wear Crocs on the regular, but I've got a pair of snow boots buried in there, and I got a pair of snow gloves. So, yeah, people are like, what do you do if it gets really cold? Well, most of that, I just chill and play video games. I don't even have heating in this van, but I'm actually adapted to it. So I don't actually really mind if it gets a little cold at night. But the thing of it is, and this is a seasonal thing, I got to tell you something. Like in the Northwest, for instance, right now, the temperature we got right now is more kind of late May up there. But here's the problem with the Northwest. It gets that certain time of year, and the west part of the state where I've got property is wet as all beat hell. It's just going to be too wet, not worth being there. And at that point, you need a heater or a wood stove. And if you're going to be in that type of climate, because I did it for years, back in the first stage of progress when I was paying off my house, it was a garbage man. It was this van. I started out actually with an S10 Blazer that I took out the passenger seat, put it into storage, and made a bed across. And then I got the Proto van, which was a half-ton Chevy. And in time, the half-ton Chevy had a milkshake in the engine. It still ran good enough, but I probably could have kept on driving it, but I just didn't want to be there when it finally gave out. I ended up getting a GMC Value van, the Battle van. And then we got this one, which used to be called the Blue Banshee before I fixed a problem on it. You know, it used to scream, you know, just like it was a belt issue. But I could tell you, seasonally, like during the winter, I'd be in the battle van with the wood stove. In fact, the proto van had the wood stove in it. But if I'm not getting paid to be in a crappy climate, then I want to be where the sun is. And so we think about tactically where you'd want a van based on the time of year, even if it gets cold at night. Because if you got the right bags or you want to put a heating system in, you'll be fine. But if you get up and it's sunny consistently, and let me give you some examples. Eastern Washington, Eastern Oregon, East Idaho, Southeast Idaho. If you want to slow drive it up through, Utah, there's another good example. Parts of Nevada, And here's a pro tip. Only 130 miles from where I'm sitting, you go from I think I'm about 1,500 feet in the air, somewhere around that. Might be lower, might be higher. Well, it's 85 to 9,000 feet up there where the pine trees are in the neighboring state, 2 states over. And that's only 130 miles away. What's the point? I don't have to go a long distance to get the same temperature. I might just have to change elevation. So like I said in the beginning, right now it's like 65 around here. This is like good summer weather where I'm from. Yes, it gets to the 80s and 90s, and occasionally it gets to 100, and the old guys at the parts store or wherever, they'll be like, oh God, they'll be at the coffee shop. And they'll be like, oh God, it hasn't rained in 60 days or more. Our forests are going to catch on fire. And some other old guy will be sitting there and consoles them. Don't worry, we'll get our rain back. That shit really happens where I grew up. And you got to understand why. A forest is a crop. And it's a crop that takes, anywhere from 40 to 80 years to get to where it's prime. And it takes less than 80 years, but there's a lot of 70-year-old forest out there. And these trees these days, they're growing them so fast. In some of the cases out there, they plant places that are only about 25 years old, and they're cutting them down. And they're like, why are they doing that? They're turning it into wood chip for pulp. So, I mean, it's a crop out there. But if you will enjoy that wet climate, and let's say you got like a RV with a wood stove in it, then that's cool. Then you're okay, and especially if you find one of those spots, because you can get to some hairy places. When some of those logging roads that are good for a good part of the year get wet during the winter, you don't want to fucking be there unless you got some good tires. Maybe you got a 4x4, and you don't necessarily need a 4x4. But just like in the outlands out here, when the big rains come, out here in the waste, you're better off waiting for the roads to dry. Like if it's a really bad storm and things are really, just let it dry off, let it sink in. Same thing for a lot of clear cuts. If you're staged up in a good clear cut and you got, your tarp set up for rainwater, and you're doing just fine, just wait it out. Because the reality of it is that you could get your vehicle stuck, like something slips or something like that, too much leaf or whatever on the ground. You know how the forest is. Bada bing, bada boom. You got a fucking vehicle stuck. Hey, look, we got a raven over there. That's fucking cool. I like ravens. Yeah, I really miss this hill. I had a lot of apprehension about coming back here, but I'm like, fuck it, If shit starts happening, I'll just keep my head low. I really like this place. I walked down to her. It's just a little story from today. I had that 10 pounds of chicken at the bottom of the freezer, and it was kind of sort of frozen. Been there for a couple months. I've been meaning to eat it, but it's just that it's at the bottom, So I just pulled it out, drained it out, washed the chicken. It kind of had that not quite crab smell. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know. Okay. How many of you guys ever went crabbing? And you're like, is this getting to turntable, turning time? Where you're like, crab bait. I've eaten like aged meat dozens of times. So I took the 10 pounds of chicken, drained the blood, drained the water. Then I was like, well, fuck it. I might, as long as there's good enough sun right now, and there's good enough sun. We got some partially cloudy action here, but it's still good enough to cook. It's holding 250 to 300 degrees. That's good enough. Slow cook all day. So I'm going to have this, it's probably already done right now, but I'm going to have this giant pile of meat. My plan was to debone it, probably put the bones in a bag for the dog, and take the broth. I got to figure out something to store the broth in, because then I could throw that into soups. Assuming the broth tastes all that good. I use some of that something Creole seasoning on it, like Johnny seasoned salt, but Creole on it. But yeah, no. And after take care of a couple other things around here, I loaded up some clothes and all the river water bottles, and I hoofed it down to the river with my Alice pack over there. Did a little laundry, and took a bath in the river. Topped off the jugs, and hoofed it back. I'll tell you something. I want to get away from coffee, but I swear to God, on the way down there, I was thinking it was going to be a lot harder coming back. But you know, the new route I'm taking, it's kind of a more steady route. It's a longer, steady route uphill, but it's slower, steady uphill. So I carried that weight up the hill. In fact, I carried it pretty damn good. And I don't want to be totally addicted to coffee or energy drinks or any of that shit. I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. When it comes to going to town, I got to take everything down, load up everything, load all the water jugs, keep all the ones that are already empty in the giant green army bags. Got to take all the stuff from the front, the boxes and stuff I put in the front, and put them on my bed, put all the coolers and all that shit, adjust the coolers. Get up, do part of it the day before, and then the next day I go into town and I finished what I got to do in the morning. Then I got to go around town. Okay, this place is open at this time. Do the laundry, like hit up the particular place I fill my water first on the way into town. Then hit up the post office. Then hit up the affordable laundromat where it cost anywhere from, I'd say, $2.50 to $3 for a whole load. Love that place. Then you got to strategically do the shopping, Walmart, Dollar Tree, and whatever else. Then hit up the first food bank, where the woman always has something kind of mean to say to me. She's not mean. She's kind of salty. But then make my way down to the other food bank, and after doing all that, you basically make your way back out here, and then that's when I'm pounding that energy drink. No, I don't pound it. I just sip it. I get a third of it into me, chug some water. And mind you, I haven't drank coffee or an energy drink in however long. Might be weeks, might be a month, might just be a couple weeks, you know? And that's when those energy drinks really do you some good. Because then I'm up all night. I get the whole damn operation set up. You pull out all the water jugs, put them on the other side, then pull out the coolers as well, and then get all the new food that I got from wherever, if I haven't already put it in cooler. Plus, get all the vegetables and everything fucking set up. Everything reset up. Dog's usually up there on the hood, so he doesn't, because he's a corgi, so he likes to walk in between your feet and be in the fucking way. He's a good boy. But, yeah, man. It's its own thing. And like I said, man, you could either go really far north, or you could just go up in elevation. And I gotta admit, that is what's cool about this area. And there's other places like that. There's places in Arizona like that. There's places on the East Coast like that. You just find your temperature. And then when it starts getting a little too hot, like, let me explain that here. This is like early summer weather, late May, maybe early June, assuming it's not January where it's pissing rain. But once July hits, it's about, 65 to 75, sometimes hitting the 80s. Nice warm sun. Easy laundry weather. Go down to the creek. Wash your laundry, some biocompatible soap if you happen to have any. Or just rinse it out. How filthy really are you? And then when it gets to the point where it looks like you're not going to be able to do laundry in the wild, it's a good indication to move somewhere where it's sunny still and warm. Like, it doesn't have to be necessarily hot all the time. Just it has to be a nice warm breeze, enjoyable breeze during the day. And that's where, like I've said before, like, I don't know if I'd want to be in Eastern Oregon in the spring because it's muddy. But in the fall, oh, fuck yeah, it's beautiful out there. And it's not the high summer where it's like, it's 100 degrees and it's hot. No. But yeah, you can adjust it when you can't do laundry. When laundry, you can't dry your laundry out on the line. It's time to head south. And when it gets to the point where you could do your laundry somewhere else, it's time to move on. You know? Yeah. Honestly, I've had a really good fucking life. There's been some trials and tribulations, but I had a really good life. You know, I think about it. Yeah, I have to go back to trucking this week. The only thing that would improve my day, and I can't do it because I want to go back to working, is fucking some pot. Some pot, man. But, you know, I want to go back to driving, so I haven't had any since last April 15th. They're like, why didn't you get a job last summer? I tried. I fucking did try. I thought I'd apply at these companies and I'd be able to get a job with 9 years of experience, and I've said it before and I say it again, but apparently I got to go back to being fresh meat and get a year of recent experience. Apparently I must have become retarded. This is like Mega Man logic. Whatever. When all the roads, pretty much all the places I know that I'll be driving through, stop being shitty, I'll take on a company. And hell, it should be easier. It should be easier because you don't even have to know how to double clutch anymore. Fucking truck does that for you. And it's a free apartment on wheels. Hell, I always recommend trucking while trucking's still a thing. And people are like, yeah, but with the time you're wasting in trucking. Now, let me throw this strategy out to you before I end the podcast. Let's say you spend 3 weeks with getting your CDL and then 3 weeks with a driver trainer. So you got 6 weeks total into this, and you drive truck for X amount of years, and then like 5, 6, 10 years down the road, they automate everything. Well, then you get to collect unemployment and you get retraining benefits. What's the loss? Well, you could have learned enough. If you want to be a plumber or electrician or something fundamental, dude, totally. I'm all for that. But like I see people that are like, no, I'll go to college and piss away 4 years of my life for a job that may or may not be there. Well, I know trucking's still a thing. And as we're cracking down on a lot of these H-1Bs, these illegals and all this other stuff, might be looking a bit brighter for the American trucker. Until one day the robots take everything over. And hey, like, what was it? Was it Jimmy from The Doors said, when the music's over, turn out the lights, just move on. You know? Anyhow, it's Freedom Phil. Like, subscribe, take it easy. Let's read a few comments, because normally when I'm outside, I can't really see them. Somebody said a generic robot thing. Hi, that's a generic robot. That's really none of your business. Could you show us the view? I was showing you the view, you fucking retard. Okay. Seriously, you already seen the view. You see the view on a regular basis. I always rag on my viewers because it's entertaining. And usually I put up the parameters that if you're not a subscriber, you're not allowed to. Also, you got those people that ask those probing questions. It's like they'll ask those probing questions because iRobot want to find out where you are. AI this. If I look at the scenery, I could figure this out. Some like fucking far leftist is pissed off. You said something I don't like. You know what's funny? I don't point this out before I take off. The far left is like religious people that if you don't believe in everything they're regurgitating, they get, at least with conservatives, you could have some disagreements. And they're just like, yeah, okay, we don't agree on this, but we agree on that. The far left, though, they get all creepy and stalker-like. All right, let's read this last comment here. Wyoming weather, hold on. Okay, you know what? I'm going to tell you. Okay, we'll have that quick conversation. Wyoming weather will always be Wyoming weather, and they're going to have a hell of a time trying to automate trucking there. I mean, and the other thing is how I'd like to see how these automated vehicles do on ice. Oh, it's all well and good when you're down in like Florida or, some part of Texas, going from the I-10 going west. Sure, fuck, that's not hard. Just make sure the tire pressure's okay. I mean, you never seen a scrap of ice out there. You get the wind out there. And I'm actually interested how the robots will handle the wind. Were they just going to pull over the truck? We have to stop the load because we don't know how to adjust. But yeah, just understand, a lot of the automation we have now, the AI, is basically fucking at the level. It's not even at the intelligence of a cockroach. So all this like pomp and circumstance, all the puffing up that they're doing about it is all BS. Now, another 5, 10, 20 years, who knows? But, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, peace. Y'all have a great day. Hey, like and subscribe.